Orlando starts now with breaking news.
And 5 to 8, we do start with the breaking news this morning that shooting in busy downtown Orlando during Halloween celebrations, ending with two dead and multiple victims.
And 6 others were injured. We are getting some new details coming into our newsroom right now. And of course, throughout the course of the morning, we're also hearing from the people who saw it happen.
It was really loud. Everybody was scared. Everybody was running in multiple directions.
And we have team coverage across downtown this morning.
Fox 35's Amanda McKenzie live outside the Orlando Police Department headquarters. Marley Capper is in live downtown Orlando. We'll check in with both of them. Good morning. Very busy morning here on a Friday morning. I'm Ryan Elijah.
Hi, everybody. It is good to see you this morning. I'm Danielle Knox. Let's go ahead right now and get out to that breaking news that is happening in downtown Orlando by turning things over to Marley Capper, who is live out there at the scene this morning. And I know, Marley, as I see the crime scene tape there behind you, the scene is still fairly active this morning.
Good morning to you both. It's definitely still an active scene. We have confirmed with Orlando police that there are 8 victims. 2 people have died. 6 people are hurt. They are in stable condition recovering at ORMC Hospital. They age between 19 years old and 39 years old. The suspect has been arrested. Police tell us he's 17 years old. I'm on the corner of Orange and Jefferson, just 1 block away from where this happened at Orange and Washington. You guys can take a look at my photographer's camera here and still see those evidence markers and crime scene tape up there. But I want you guys to take a look at this video on your screen. This is what police showed us during a press conference around 4 in the morning. Take a look at the blur on your screen. Right by the blur is where you can see the suspect shoot into the crowd and see people run away. Then take a look at this video when the suspect shoots into the crowd a second time. You can see 2 police trucks lined up. The suspect is in a yellow shirt, runs around the trucks. You can see it in the bottom right corner of your screen there. Police swiftly take him down. And lastly, I want to show you guys this video of thousands of people running for their lives. It's estimated between 50,000 to 100,000 people were here in downtown for Halloween celebrations. We talked to several people. Here's what one man had to say he heard.
Crazy. Okay, we were in a club and we heard gunshots. Bop, 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 bop. That's all I heard. And then everybody started running. That's all the security was like, run, 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 run.
Very frightening to hear and to see that. I talked to several people. One woman said she had to hide beneath a bar. She was a bartender. Another woman said she was on a balcony when she heard all of this happen and saw all of the people run. This is the scene on your screen right now. It's much quieter since, but like I mentioned, we still can see those evidence markers, crime scene tape. We've seen the crime scene investigations unit here. Officers are posted up all around downtown. They're blocking the streets off from Robinson to Church Street off of Orange. So 5 or 6 blocks that are completely blocked off to the public. It's left people hours without being able to get to their cars. Now, when we got here around 2 a.m. this morning, there was still people walking around in their Halloween costumes. We saw some people crying, rightfully so. Some people panicking, trying to see if their friends could come pick them up because they couldn't reach their car. Lots of chaos going on this morning. It's much calmer now. But if you're just joining, I want to restate that information that we have confirmed with police. 8 people have been injured. 2 people died. 6 people were injured. And those people are at ORMC Hospital in stable condition. But for now, we'll send things back to you.
Marley will continue to follow this story, of course, with our live team coverage that continues right now. We're turning things over to Fox 35's Amanda McKenzie, who is live at the Orlando Regional Medical Center where the 6 injured victims were taken. Amanda, good morning.
Yes, unfortunately, 6 of those 8 total victims were transported here to the emergency room at ORMC, and there are several Orlando police officer vehicles parked right outside of the emergency room behind me. We're told that those victims ranging in age between 19 and 39 years old. One of the questions I asked the Orlando Police Chief Eric Smith was, were these victims known to the suspected shooter? He said he couldn't say for certain right now, since that is all under investigation, and right now they are still working to piece together several videos from surveillance cameras as well as police body-worn cameras. But he did say that they are going to be releasing those videos later this morning with more detail into what led up to that mass shooting. This is a 17-year-old suspect that they were able to arrest. They say that the teen was not in downtown long before opening fire. There were as many as 100,000 people in downtown when shots broke out, and more than 100 officers were working detail. Several officers were just feet away from the gunman when the shooting happened and were able to capture him and take him into custody. Here's what Orlando Police Chief Eric Smith had to say about the instant response.
As soon as they heard the shots fired, You can watch any of these videos. None of the officers, went the other way. They didn't go with the crowd. Most of them, got a little bit of cover between them. They started scanning, seeing what was going on, and then they moved. They took action to keep everybody else safe, and that's what these officers do, and that's their job, and they did it, and I'm very proud of them.
Now, it's also important to note that no officers fired their weapons in this instance, so all of the gunfire was limited to just that one suspect that they were able to take into custody quickly, that 17-year-old. We're also told that he has a criminal history. Just last year in 2023, he was charged with grand theft, so we're told by the state attorney that that will be one of the aggravating factors that goes into consideration on whether to charge this 17-year-old suspect as an adult or a minor. So far, police have not released a motive for this shooting that left 2 people dead and 6 others injured on that busy Halloween night. Reporting live in downtown Orlando, Amanda McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
Amanda, thanks. Of course, loyal viewers know this has been about a 2-year deal since we had that shooting. I think the biggest change this time, they had all the officers down there. They were able to make an arrest right away.
Absolutely, which is some good news there in spite of all of the tragedy that happened downtown. And we, of course, will stay on top of this throughout the course of the morning. But first, we do want to go ahead and get on over to meteorologist Brooks Garner for a first look at our weather. Good morning to you, Brooks.
Good morning. We're looking at some wave action today on the beaches. We're going to talk much more about that. High risk for rip currents into the weekend. So if you have beach plans, a heads up. Waves between 3 and 5 feet at a high risk for rip currents. 72 degrees right now in downtown Orlando. Fox 35 storm tracker radar right now. Pretty quiet, although we've got a couple of showers down here in Indian River County. And overnight we had some sprinkles in the Orlando area. So more of this on the way today. About a 20% chance for rain for us. And to give you an idea using future clouds and radar how the flow is today, it's an easterly flow with 1 or 2 sprinkles from time to time. Tomorrow morning, a little bit of low clouds and patchy fog possible, especially near I-75. And then in the afternoon, a 40% chance for a couple of passing showers for our Saturday. But otherwise, this weekend will be defined by the busy breeze out of the east and otherwise comfortable temperatures and arguably delightful early November conditions. 72 Orlando right now, 59 degrees in Gainesville. And on the warm side, we've got 76 at Cocoa Beach. So to get you out the door this morning on this 1st of November, we are looking at temperatures going from 67 degrees at 8 as the kids head to school to 81 by noon. I'm forecasting a high today of 85 degrees. Coming up, we've got some action in the tropics that may try and develop. I'll show you the latest on that on an otherwise pleasant first day of November. All right, let's go to Skyfox traffic. Hey there, Deborah.
Hey, good morning, Brooks. Well, that crash we were talking about earlier on the Florida Turnpike right in the Gotha area, that has looked a lot better now. At least it looks a lot better now. It looks like it's off to the left-hand shoulder. This map right here was at one point red all the way almost up to the 408, but right now it looks like it's a lot better condition. So as far as your delays in that spot, you should be good to go this morning. Here's our look this morning. Our I-4 cameras right in the Lake Buena Vista area, not far from the Disney attractions. So traffic-wise, the east and the westbound lanes on I-4 are looking good. And your drive times right now are reflective of that. Even down the Champions Gate area, things are looking in the green. So I'll let you know, of course, if that changes, but I'll send things back to you, Danielle and Ryan.
All right, Deb, thanks so much for that. Brooks as well. At 6 minutes now after the hour, some new details this morning into the ongoing excessive force investigation into the Kissimmee Police Department.
A new grand jury report saying the department, quote, harbors a culture of silence. It also questions the truthfulness of some officers. The investigation stems from an arrest in 2023 of now former resident Sean Kastner. Officer Andrew Baseggio was fired and now facing criminal charges. Kissimmee Police Chief Betty Holland resigning earlier this week. 10 other members of the department are under investigation. We did talk to a retired judge who says this could affect other races investigated by the Kissimmee Police Department, like the death of Matty Soto.
The good thing about it is there's a lot of independent evidence, but as we all know, that thing called reasonable doubt can creep in there through the lack of credibility.
Well, Interim Chief Robert Anzueto stepping into the role yesterday. He is saying his priority is restoring trust within the department. And a former Disney World employee arrested for hacking the company. How much money Disney claims that he cost him, and kind of shocking details of what actually he did.
And taking a live look at our downtown camera this morning as we continue to follow the breaking news happening in downtown Orlando, where a shooting has left 2 people dead and 6 others injured. We've got reporters right there live on the scene. We'll check in with them in just a bit, and we'll check in with you on the other side of this break.
Fox 35 Beach and Surf Report brought to you by Rubenstein Law, 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
We do want to welcome you back this morning as we take a live look through our downtown camera. This was from hours ago, just after 1 a.m. The chaos that ensued after shots rang out downtown. 2 people unfortunately killed, 6 others, Ryan, injured.
Yeah, an estimated 50 to 100,000 people were there. There were actually 100 working officers, and when you saw the second shooting, they were right within probably 50 yards of that police car. There was a quick arrest, a 17-year-old suspect. We've got crews downtown. We'll continue to follow that this morning.
All right, at 6:15, let's check in with meteorologist Brooke Starner. We want to take a look at our weather for Friday and into this kind of long weekend because we get an extra hour on Sunday.
That's right. The end of daylight saving time is at 2 a.m. on Sunday, so we get to those earlier sunrises but earlier sunsets. In fact, the sun sets on Sunday at 5:38 p.m. Well, it's 72 in downtown Orlando right now, so let's talk about our weather headlines. Stray showers, but nice today. Rip currents at the beaches today and through the weekend, and a tropical system may form next week. Hurricane season goes until the end of this month, November 30th. Fox 35 storm tracker radar this morning. Quiet here over our neck of the woods, but in Indian River County to the south, a couple of showers moving through. These may push into Kenansville and Osceola County here inside of the next hour. Our chance for rain today is at 20%. We've got this flow in from the Atlantic, so a partly cloudy day, a delightful breeze. I think it'll be beautiful weather, but we may have a brief kind of here 1 minute, gone the next type of a shower from time to time. And for tomorrow, our Saturday, kind of more of the same, although our rain chance is up to 40%. So there's a higher likelihood of showers, followed by what'll be a fairly delightful day tomorrow. Highs in the mid 80s both days. 59 right now at Gainesville, 70 in St. Cloud, 76 degrees in Cocoa Beach. We'll take a look at your storm spotter reports, your Fox 35 weather spotter reports coming up in just a few minutes. But at the bus stop this morning, 67 degrees at 8 and 85 by 3. So it's going to be a warm afternoon, but not hot. 83 today in Gainesville, 84 in Palm Bay, 82 at Cocoa Beach. By the way, there's a chance for a little bit of patchy fog this morning before daybreak inside of the next hour or so to the north. 66 at Daytona, live view from the Hard Rock Hotel cam. You can see those waves lapping up to the shore. Wave heights today between 3 and 5 feet. Water temp at 76, air temp 81, and a high risk for rip currents. Satellite Beach, much the same, highs around 81 degrees. Make sure you're very careful if you go in the water. It's recommended you swim only near a lifeguard. Well, in the tropics, we've got 2 areas of concern. A 60% chance in Western Caribbean, a 10% chance here in the southwestern Atlantic. A system could form this weekend. These two could merge together in the southern Gulf of Mexico, producing a disorganized and larger system of tropical origin, but it's tough to say if this will actually become like a named system yet. Regardless, it could bring rain to the region late next week. Nothing imminent at this point. A lot of our computer models suggesting, though, a greater than 80% chance of at least a tropical depression forming, so we'll have to watch that carefully. Obviously, a lot of ocean heat content here this time of year in the Caribbean to support a tropical system, but curiously, and what would be typical climatologically, there's very little ocean heat content to support a tropical system in the Gulf. So if something was to move into the Gulf of Mexico and it forms late, it would have less of a potential to become an actual organized system. Regardless, if it was to rapidly intensify and enter the Gulf, it would weaken, but it would still have a lot of rain with it, and we could see it tracking as close as the Panhandle or as far west as maybe Mexico or Texas. So there's still a lot of what ifs. It's all about the position of this ridge of high pressure and where exactly this forms, if it does, because you can't track if it doesn't exist yet, right? You can't tell where it's going to go if you don't know where it's going to begin. Some of the models take a first stab at this of kind of merging these two low pressure systems and then taking them generally toward the west. Well, here's my 7-day forecast. We'll have mid 80s for the next 7 days. We fall back for the end of daylight saving time Sunday morning at 2 a.m. Election day is on Tuesday with a couple of scattered showers. Otherwise, an indication of that possibility of tropical moisture moving into the region late next week on Thursday with a 50-50 chance of rain, representing our highest rain chance over the next 7 days. All right, let's take a look at our Skyfox traffic. Deborah Cho in with the latest.
Hey, good morning, Brooks. So Skyfox is actually over the scene of that downtown Orlando shooting this morning. So lots of the parts in the downtown area are still closed this morning, particularly around Church Street, Washington Street. So if you do know somebody lives in this area or you possibly live in this area as well, they are still blocking off a lot of the roads there. So just a heads up. Lake Mary Tower camera is also showing a little bit more cars out on the roadways on those westbound lanes. Eastbound lanes, though, are looking good as of right now. And here's a look at the camera actually on the Florida Turnpike. This is right in the Gosa area. This was where there was a crash earlier this morning, and that is looking a lot better. So no issues to report in Gosa as you're going southbound towards I-4. Now, as far as your drive times right now on I-4 from downtown to Disney, you're looking at a 14-minute commute there in those westbound lanes. Time now is 6:19. Let's go and take a look, though, at our gas prices. We have 301 at the 7-Eleven. This is in Castleberry on Cimarron Boulevard. Head over to our website, fox35orlando.com. Okay, I'll send things back to you, Danielle and Ryan. Yes.
Well, I think it's a little early, but it's just me. That's Mariah Carey already putting Halloween behind her and unleashing her smash hit, All I Want for Christmas Is You, for the Christmas season. The singer posted this video to social media just after midnight. It starts with an Addams Family inspired bit before Christmas takes over. We're just going to sit right on past Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm okay with it, but it's borderline.
Yeah, okay. There you go. Anyway, still ahead on Good Day Orlando this morning, Americans, they are feeling the pre-election jitters.
Oh, no doubt about it. How it's affecting how we spend money. Also, we'll take a look at that. 6:20 on a busy Friday morning. All right, 6:24. We do continue to follow breaking news out of Orange County. A shooting in downtown Orlando about 1 o'clock this morning, leaving 8 people shot. At least 2 were killed. A 17-year-old suspect is in custody, was arrested right after the shooting. It happened in front of police. The second one did. We will continue to bring you updates all morning long.
And we are now just 4 days away from Election Day, and many voters are starting to feel the pressure of the election. That's affecting how customers are shopping right now as well. And so some studies show this period of unknown right now before this election has caused many Americans to hold off on making big purchases. It reflects in everything, right, from home sales to furniture and more. Behavioral experts say what consumers are feeling right now might be stress, but it's normal.
I think when we get in those situations, kind of holding on to what we like, which in this case might be our money, is the most advantageous thing for us to do psychologically. So we can feel a sense of control and comfort at a time when we really aren't sure how it's going to resolve.
And if you're a business owner, don't worry. Patterns show that things will bounce right back to normal after the election.
Well, in the final countdown to Election Day, women voters will be key to victory.
We want to check in with Fox's Doug Luzader this morning about the race to close the gender gap. We're at 6:26. You're watching Good Day Orlando. The 6:30 half hour is on deck next.
Fox Local is Fox 35. Live news and more. On your phone, on your TV. Fox Local is built for you. Fox Local. Your bus stop forecast is sponsored by Orange County Library System. Good Day Orlando starts now with breaking news.
And a good morning on a busy Friday. It is 6:30. I'm Ryan Elijah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Danielle Knox. We do continue to follow breaking news in downtown Orlando. 8 people have been injured during Halloween celebrations. 2 are dead. We do have team coverage for you across downtown this morning. We've got Fox 35's Amanda McKenzie live outside the Orlando Police Department headquarters.
Marley Capper is live in downtown Orlando. We're going to start with you, Marley. We have heard a lot from the police department at this point, but we know 2 are dead from the shooting early this morning.
Good morning to both of you. Certainly a nightmare after Halloween. We have confirmed that 8 victims in this situation. 2 have died. 6 are in stable condition at ORMC. The victims' ages range from 19 to 39 years old, and the suspect is just 17 years old. I'm on the corner of Orange and Jefferson, just 1 block away from where all of this happened on Orange and Washington. Take a look at this video. There's a blur on your screen. Right by the blur, you can see the suspect shoot into the crowd, and you can see the people run away. Now I want you to take a look at this video. The suspect shoots into the crowd a second time. You can see the 2 police trucks lined up. The suspect in a yellow shirt, we have marked him. We've circled him so you can see it better. In the bottom right corner there, you can see as police swiftly take him down. Now in this last video, I really want to show you guys the thousands of people running for their lives. It's estimated between 50,000 and 100,000 people were down here for Halloween. There was a lot of police down here, but it's a massive crowd there. Here's what one man says he heard. All right, we don't have that soundbite for you, but he said that he heard the shots going off. We talked to lots of people this morning. One woman that I spoke to says she was on a balcony when she heard the shots go off. She said that some people were stuck in certain clubs. Some clubs were pushing people out of those bars. So it was very hectic. Now it's much quieter now, but we've seen evidence markers. Obviously, lots of crime scene tape. The streets here on Orange are blocked off from Robinson all the way down to Church Street. So that's 5 or 6 blocks that police have been on every single corner trying to man these down. down as the investigation continues. Now, when we got here around 2 a.m., there were still people walking around in their Halloween costumes. We saw people were crying, looking for people to give them rides home because they couldn't get to their cars that are parked here on the street. Very chaotic, very scary scene. Definitely praying for all of those victims in the hospital and everybody involved in this. But for now, reporting live in Orlando, Marley Capper, Fox 35 News.
Marley, thank you for that. And our live team coverage continues this morning.
Amanda McKenzie is outside of ORMC. And Amanda obviously has several victims behind you. What do we know right now about how many, their conditions, their ages?
Right, that's right. So 6 people were injured and quickly transported to the Orlando Regional Medical Center here at the emergency room. We are told that they are in stable condition from those gunshot wounds. Their ages ranging from 19 to 39 years old. And to give you a perspective, I'm just a little bit more than a mile down the same street here on Orange Avenue. So the transport here was quite quick to get those injured to this hospital in time to be treated. But this is still a very active investigation. We're still working to determine if this gunman knew these victims or if this was a random shooting. I asked that question of the Orlando police chief, and he said this is all still part of the active investigation. Keep in mind, these victims were just transported here only a few hours ago, and they're still receiving treatment. So whether or not they are cooperating or even able to cooperate is a big question right now. But the good news is there are countless numbers of surveillance videos from downtown Orlando during the time of this mass shooting, as well as body-worn cameras by officers. When those shots fired out, they were able to get that 17-year-old suspect into custody within a moment. The police chief says the teen was not in downtown long before opening fire, and there were as many as 100,000 people in downtown when shots broke out. More than 100 officers were also working detail. Several officers were just feet away from the gunman when the shooting happened and were able to capture him and take him into custody. Here's what Orlando Police Chief Eric Smith had to say about the instant response.
This is something that we can't do alone. I mean, I could put 200 officers down there, and like you saw in the video, he walked by multiple officers. He didn't really care. So it does start outside of what my job is. It starts, and I don't want to say it starts in the home, but it starts in our community coming together to work together and figure out a better way for people to solve their problems.
Now, no officers fired their weapons. They were able to quickly get the suspect handcuffed. We have already learned that this 17-year-old suspect, Jalen Dwayne Edgar, was charged with grand theft in 2023. So that will be one of the aggravating factors taken into consideration as to whether he will be charged as an adult or a minor. So far, police have not been able to tell us any more about a possible motive. Again, they're going to piece together all of those surveillance videos showing the moments leading up to that shooting, whether there was any kind of argument or assault or just what may have been the condition of that person or situation before opening fire. But unfortunately, we still have to report that 2 people are dead and 6 others injured on this Halloween night. Reporting live in downtown Orlando, Amanda McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
And very sad indeed. Amanda, thanks so much. We, of course, will stay on top of this throughout the course of this morning. At 6:35, let's get on over to meteorologist Brooks Garner for our first look at our weather here in this 6:30 half hour. Brooks, good morning.
Good morning, Danielle. Well, we've got about 70 degrees right now in Orlando, so weather is not a factor this morning. Here's a live view from Lake Fairview from our Grills Lakeside camera. We've got variably cloudy skies, maybe a little bit of an overcast at this location, and we have had periodic very light showers rotating in from the Atlantic on a southeast flow this morning. Fox 35 storm tracker radar zooming in on Indian River County as a couple of showers make their way into Osceola County. So on the turnpike between Yeehaw Junction and Kenansville, there may be a little bit of rain. And overall today, with a flow continuing from that direction, we'll have partly cloudy skies, a delightful breeze this afternoon, but a chance for a couple of passing showers. More of the same tomorrow. In the morning, a little bit of patchy fog developing. Then in the afternoon, about a 40% chance for rain for our Saturday. So overall, the forecast is going to be pleasant this weekend, but heads up on that rain chance and also on the rip current risk at the beaches. That flow from the east is going to keep the rip current risk high. 72 degrees in Orlando right now, and let's get you out the door on this first of of November, the day after Halloween. We go from 67 at 8 to 81 by noon. I'm forecasting a high today of 85 degrees. And coming up, we are tracking the tropics. We've got a disturbance out there that may become the season's next system in the Caribbean. I'll show you the latest. First off, though, Skyfox traffic time with Deborah. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Brooks. So take a look at our 6-box camera right now on I-4. So I-4 US 27, you're going to start to see a little bit more cars pick up there right as we're getting to Champions Gate. But you can see, though, traffic is at least moving this morning. So it's not stop and go quite yet. Once you get to Celebration, no issues to report there. Our attractions camera is a little too blurry there, but you get the picture. It does get a little bit better once you get to downtown Orlando. So as far as your traffic, I'm not seeing too much red on the map, at least as of right now. But of course, I'm keeping a close eye on that for you. Your drive times this morning are pretty much up to speed. No major delays. We are seeing some green from Daytona to Orlando on 408 westbound, 417 to downtown, and even Champions Gate to downtown. You're still looking not too bad this morning. Usually down that spot we see really bright red, but right now we're seeing just a little bit of some orange. So that's at least good news to me, at least for right now. Of course, I'll let you know if anything changes, but I'll send things back to you, Danielle and Ryan.
We appreciate it, Deb. Thank you. 6:37 and the final days in the race for the White House. The Harris and Trump campaigns are struggling to close a persistent gender gap. Fox's Doug Luzader joining us live in Washington, D.C. this morning with more. Hi, Doug. Good morning.
Good morning.
And that will be the key for sure. Fox's Doug Luzader reporting live from Washington. Doug, always enjoy speaking with you. We'll do it again. No, it's today.
Thanks,
we'll
Danielle.
do it again on Monday.
we will do it again. Hey, it might be this weekend. You never know. One final political note. There is a rally. Hillary Clinton will be in Tampa. We've not seen a lot of Florida rallies, but we're going to see one tomorrow in Tampa.
I know. Well, we certainly wish him the best and hope he gets better quickly. As we had to break this morning, we want to wish you a happy birthday if you're celebrating it today. If you are, here's who you're celebrating with. Celebrity and actress and judge of Fox's The Masked Singer, Jenny McCarthy, turns 52 years young today. Jenny, happy birthday to you and you at home if today is your big day. 6:41. We'll be right back. It is 6:45. Welcome back. We are continuing to follow breaking news coming out of Orange County, and you are looking at the scene as it happened at about 1 a.m. this morning, a mass shooting in downtown Orlando, leaving 8 people injured. At least 2 were killed. A 17-year-old suspect is in custody right now. We, of course, will continue to bring you all of the updates all morning long on this breaking news story. But now we do want to get over to our weather with Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner. Brooks, good morning.
Good morning, Danielle. 72 degrees right now in downtown. We've got a pleasant morning weather-wise out there with generally clear skies, just a few passing clouds, and ultimately some stray showers today, but overall a nice day. Rip currents at the beaches continuing through this weekend, and in the tropics we may see a formation next week bringing some rain to parts of Florida. Right now on Fox 35 Storm Tracker radar, any rain I'm tracking is basically relegated at this hour to Indian River County, but we're seeing a couple of sprinkles trying to make their way into Osceola County around Kenansville. So if you're driving down the turnpike, you may have a few sprinkles on the windshield from time to time this morning. And overall, there's a 20% chance of rain this afternoon thanks to a flow off of the Atlantic. So we may see a little bit of drizzle, some brief light rain, maybe enough to produce a rainbow this afternoon. Our exclusive Fox model detailing the possibility of rain into the day tomorrow, which will actually ramp up a little bit, about a 40% chance during the late morning and afternoon for some passing showers on our Saturday, but it will not rain out events. This will be really few and far between and brief if it rains where you are. Debbie Carroll in Ocala this morning has 64. Our Fox 35 weather spotter in Claremont, Joel Mathis, has 66 degrees. Meanwhile, Julie in Cocoa Beach this morning checking in with 75. Steve Hurst in Cocoa at 70, and Ross Henning in Windermere at 67 degrees. Our bikers forecast today featuring great weather to hit the roads with 71 degrees at 9 up to 84 by 4 o'clock. It's just going to be one of those really nice days today to be out and about. 83 degrees today in Gainesville, my forecast high. 83 in Melbourne today and 84 in Palm Bay. We'll top out at 85 in Orlando. Here's a live view from Daytona Beach from the Hard Rock Hotel camp. The first light of dawn is visible now on the eastern horizon. If you're going to the beaches, we've got a high risk for rip currents with 3 to 5 foot waves. Our next tide is a high tide at 8:29 a.m. So very little beach during the time of high tide. Now in the tropics, we've got a weak tropical wave near Puerto Rico, also a disturbance trying to get its act together in the Caribbean, and that's where we find a 60% chance for development. The National Hurricane Center is tracking, and in the Southwest Atlantic, a 10% chance. Now there's no slam dunk forecast here for a tropical system developing like we've seen in previous systems. There's a lot of uncertainties here, but we could see a storm form this weekend, and it could bring rain to the area late next week. week. Maybe a little bit of rain. We'll see, depending on the track, but nothing imminent at this time. There is, however, according to our forecast models, a general likelihood now, about 80% plus chance that something will develop, and that would be favorable considering the ocean heat content is quite hot in this region. But if something develops here and works into the Gulf of Mexico, it'll be encountering comparatively cooler water, so it'll have a tough time maintaining its strength. Now, based on the timing of all this, now this is forming a little bit later. High pressure that was once protecting us will now move a little bit farther east, allowing for the potential, if something does develop here, to track a little bit closer to our region, bringing some rain to the area for late next week if that happens. Latest GFS model suggests that we could see this disturbance near Puerto Rico and Hispaniola merging with a disturbance in the Caribbean to create a loosely organized but large area of low pressure in the northwestern Caribbean Sea and southern Gulf of Mexico by the end of next week. But more questions and answers there. Needless to say, if that comes together as advertised, we would see some rain here in Florida, but it doesn't look to be a big wind maker at this time. No major tropical threat. Okay, 85 degrees today, 84 tomorrow. This weekend we fall back for the end of daylight saving time. That happens at 2 a.m. on Sunday, so we're going to have some early sunsets about 5:38 p.m. Election day is on Tuesday. Weather shouldn't be a factor with the chance for a few showers, but by Thursday we may get into some downpours. All right, that is the latest from the Weather Center. Let's take a look at our Skyfox traffic. Deborah with the latest.
Hey, good morning, Brooks. Let's take a look at our airport camera right now. So if you have an early morning flight today and you got to head to the airport, traffic-wise, things are looking good. No incidents to report on your way to OIA. So that's always some good news. And headed to the airport, we have green across the board. So from Lake Mary to the airport, you're looking at a 26-minute commute on the 417 going southbound. Winter Garden to the airport, 21 minutes. So you're on time there on the Florida Turnpike going southbound. And on the beach line over to the airport, you're looking at a 29-minute commute this morning. So heading out the door today, give yourself plenty of time, but really for the most part, we are still in the green. I'll send things back to you, Danielle and Ryan.
Hi, Deborah Brooks. Thanks. Next up on Good Day Orlando, an unexpected jobless claims report in Florida. We're going to break down the numbers coming up 10 minutes before 7.
Today's Weather Baby is sponsored by attorney Dan Newlin.
Welcome back, 6:54. We do continue to follow breaking news out of Orange County. That mass shooting in downtown Orlando, leaving 8 injured. A number of them shot. At least 2 people have lost their lives. A 17-year-old is in custody, was taken into custody moments after the shooting. We will continue to bring you live updates all morning long on this story.
We're now 6 minutes before 7. A new report shows unemployment claims in Florida dipped last week. That follows a slight increase in claims right after Hurricane Milton. According to the Labor Department, around 8,100 initial jobless claims were filed last week. That is down from nearly 11,000 the prior week. The total for that week was the highest since October of 2022 after Hurricane Ian hit the state. Florida's unemployment rate has stood at 3.3% since April. The state will release October's rate on November 15th. Well, there is still much more news, weather, and traffic, and of course the breaking news we've been following all morning long for you headed your way. So here's Amy now with a preview of what you can expect in the 7 o'clock hour. Thanks.
Good morning, Danielle. Well, of course, we are staying on top of this breaking news, a mass shooting in downtown Orlando, what we have learned about the suspect and how this all happened. Also, there is just a couple of days left for early voting here in Florida. We're going to break down the number of you who have already cast your ballot. It's all coming up in our next hour of Good Day Orlando.